Hey, welcome to an unusual video from my channel, I guess. This is actually going to be looking at Sven's SudokuPad, and this is a game that I actually have on my Android device. So I'll sort of explain a little bit about what's going on through here. Sven's SudokuPad is not for everybody who plays Sudoku, to be honest. Some of you will actually like other applications that help you along a lot more than what Sven's does. But what this one does do is it allows you flexibility in all sorts of different ways with puzzles. It gives you a better way of notation than what you will get from just about any other Sudoku application that I've seen. And it probably feels the most like doing it on pen and paper. If you're someone who has been used to doing Sudokus on pen and paper with your own notation systems, you probably ease into doing Sudokus in an application using Sven's SudokuPad more so than some of the other applications. Now, I use a lot of different Sudoku applications. Sven's SudokuPad, as I say, does feel more like pen and paper. I don't know if I like it more than some of the other applications that I have, but I do like what it does better than any other application. So I did want to go through this one. Now, you've got different puzzles. Like if I click on the puzzles, it comes with 10 puzzles plus 2 bonus puzzles. By the way, this is available on iPad, Android, and also on now on Steam. It also is basically what can be played on the Cracking the Cryptic YouTube channel's website, and we'll have a look at that in just a minute, because we can add puzzles a few different ways. So what I can do is I can go to Cracking the Cryptic's YouTube channel, and there is actually a link within the actual program. I think it's under help. I think it's just sort of got about, and then you can sort of get back to their channel there. I've got it ready to go. So let's just go across. So if we go to puzzles, it'll end up sort of adding itself into here. So if I just go across, this is Cracking the Cryptic's YouTube channel. So, and they've got these incredible players, these two guys from England that just are amazingly good at sorting out sort of unusual cryptic puzzles. I love watching them for the simple fact that their mental prowess is just something to behold. It's really quite amazing. So highly recommend that channel if you do like watching people solve puzzles. And to be honest, I didn't think I would, but I actually really enjoy their content. Anyway, it's that's what got me looking at Sven's, because I saw that they were actually getting it working. So they actually have it on their own website. If we have a look at the actual website itself, whenever they do a puzzle, this is only recently, by the way, within the last year, I think. If it's beyond that, it won't actually work this way. But for most of the recent puzzles, you can just go through underneath where they're actually playing. They've got like a show more. Inside their descriptions, usually the first link or up near the top there will be an app.crackingcryptic with the actual link to this particular puzzle. Now, this one is called Crack a Sandwich by Spartacus. Anyway, we'll just go and click on this one through here. It then opens up their website. Now, what this one does is it's got Sven's running on their website. So you can just play the same, you can play it on their website as well. So you can actually do it in here if you wanted to, these particular puzzles. As I say, this is way beyond my pay grade. I can't even half figure out where to start with anything like this. It's very very Anyway, with that in mind, what I will then do is if I wanted to play it on the Sven SudokuPad, whenever I feel like it, rather than having to play it online like this, I can just go with open the puzzle in SudokuPad up the top there. It will then open up another link where it will then ask me, do I want to use, like, open the puzzle with SudokuPad, or I can just download it the different ways. So the Google Play Store, the App Store, or Amazon App Store in through there as well. Or like in this case, I've got it on my computer. So I'm just going to click on that one. You received a puzzle. Somebody sent you this puzzle. Would you like to save and play it? So you can share the puzzles that you make. So there probably will be ultimately some sort of repository where people can then sort of build and share. Now, I've got to point out, one of the big problems I have with the game at the moment is it feels like it's only half done, because you can't really edit these yourself. You can't construct anything other than just basic Sudokus yourself. So just be aware of that. It's not, The edit functions that they have for doing these special ones for the YouTube channel are not available to the public, not that I could find anyway. I did actually ask the dev if that was available. He said it wasn't. It's early days, so I'm hoping that they actually do some way of being able to build these yourself, but I haven't been able to find that one. So we'll just save and play. So we'll save that one across, and then what that will do is this is now the same puzzle. Looks very much like the website. Like if I go to back to the website again and close that one down, it's basically the same. You can sort of see it there. It's the same sort of layout. It looks the same. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So this is now, but this one behind here is actually saved into the Sven SudokuPad app. So I can actually just go across and just get back out of here, and here it is sitting back up in through here. So Cracker Sandwich has now been added to my puzzle list. That's one way to add the puzzles. And as I say, you can sort of share them. If I go and click on this one, I can share it through here and send it to other people, or I can just discard it. Now, I'm never going to do this. This is way too hard for me. So I'm just going to go and delete this one. So delete the puzzle. Actually, I'll leave it in there and show you a different way. That's one way to sort of delete the puzzle. The other thing I can do, like for example, and let's just do it as a bit of an example here. I'll just go across to, I'll just get rid of that now, and just go across to the New York Times Sudoku puzzle page, which has got, so every day they put out Sudokus in easy, medium or hard. I would normally do the medium, I think, but I'll do the easy just so I can get through it relatively quickly to try to show off at least the different tools that are available to you with this incredible application in terms of, you know, as I say, it's got some really groundbreaking ideas that it actually does make use of. So I'm going to go and recreate this one in Sven Sudoku puzzle, in Sven's SudokuPad, by going add new, and from here I can then just go and flesh out a normal Sudoku. I would love to be able to, as I say, just be able to do like killer Sudoku, which has got like sort of little numbers in corners where it sort of has like sort of snaking areas, things like that, which it would be great if the program allowed you to do it, but it doesn't actually allow you to do it. So I'm not sure how they built it. There must be some sort of graphics program that they sort of lay underneath it at the moment. As I say, it'd be great if that editor was available inside the game. It's funny because some of their screenshots show those sorts of things. Now, you can certainly bring those puzzles in and then play them. You just can't actually build them. And as I say, it would be great to be able to build them yourself. Okay, so back in through here, I'm just going to go back across to the Times, back over this way, and I'm just going to go and move that to another screen, and I'll just start sort of building it. Now, you'll sort of see when I press Control, if I'm just, hang on, if I'm Control, Shift, no, actually, no, it's not going to do it here. Sorry, this is not going to, I'll go back to here. There we go. See how Control then goes down to this one through here. I'll explain what this one is in a minute. And then if I go to Shift, it goes into these ones. So if I go and select, say, for example, that one there, and then just go and press Shift or click on this one down in here, I can then put little numbers in the corners. So I can start to sort of put numbers across. Now, it's quite nice the way it does work. This is very much like the way that people actually use their normal notation if they're actually playing with pen and paper. If I press Control and then go to 1, 2, or 3, I then get them in the middle, and this is really, really useful. I haven't seen this before in any other application. It's sort of like, it's up to you the way you do use it, but I quite like it to use it where I know that there's only those numbers that can be in play, like in a particular square, whereas these are, it could be any of these, it could be other numbers. So like this is sort of more, for me, more of a loose way of delineating it, whereas this one is a much more exact. It can only be 1, 2, or 3, or it could be 1, 2, 3, maybe some others. So when you're planning things out, I tend to just use these corner notations, and when you're really knuckling it down to just a handful of numbers in any particular tile or cell, you end up essentially where you've got a very clear way of seeing what your limitations actually are, which is great. I'm just going to press that one through there, press Shift, and then get rid of those. So it's very simple to sort of build this one. Anyway, I'll just start building the actual Sudoku. I can use my arrow keys. I can do whatever I like. It's quite user-friendly the way it actually does sort of make use of. And as I say, this has been used by the Cracking the Cryptic guys on their channel, and it looks great. What they, when you watch them actually do it, you sort of see masters in action, sort of making use of this software. Anyway, I'll pause this and finish off the actual puzzle. All right, so that's sort of looking accurate I think. Okay, so I've just had a quick look through. So at this point, I'm going to say now save this. So I'm going to call this one New York Times 2021. This is going to be the 1201 is going to be the dates in reverse order, and then E. That way, if I do end up building more of them, I'm going to know exactly where it's from, what date it was actually published, and whether it's easy, medium, or hard. We'll just go and save. It's just normal Sudoku. So in fact, I can just put that in there if I wanted to. We'll save that one away. And so this one now is also where I can go back in and re-edit it if I wanted to. I'll just go and save that one again. And so, or I can share it. So I can send it off and share it with other people that may have the actual application, and or I can play it. So let's just go and play this one now, and I'll show you the notation and the ways of actually sort of using the notation to play the game. Now, Sudoku, if you've never played it before, is an incredibly good game. I think it's good for you as well, because it does sort of stretch your mind. And the reason I like this one is because it does feel like pen and paper. I can, like for example, I've got a 1 over here. The way it works, just in very, very basic terms, is you've got like a grid that's made up of 3 sort of major regions across the top, 3 running down this side. So you've got 9 major regions, and inside each region you've got then 9 cells, and each of the cells can only have one number between 1 and 9, and each of the rows back and through this way, and each of the columns can also only have numbers between 1 and 9. So when you're trying to solve it, you would then sort of think, okay, well I've got a 1 in that row. If I just press shift, I can then sort of go and do another one. I've got another 1 in that row. And so the 1, and it's also in this area through here and this area through here. Actually, I'll show you one of the little things. Like, this is a very, very basic way of doing it. I've got a 1 in, hang on, I'll just go and shift click that one through there. I can then go down to where this color is. And with the color selected, I can then just go, okay, I've got a 1 in that area. I've got another 1 in this area as well. And so, but there's no 1 in this area through this side. So in this case, I know that there's got to be a 1 somewhere in this region. I also have a 1 in that region. So let's just go and use orange there. See how it's splitting the number? So I can use this this coloring as well to sort of do it. I've got another 1 in that region as well, in through that side, which only leaves these 2 areas for a number 1. And so what I can then do is I can, if I wanted to designate, I could just go across back to my number system. If I just press shift again, it's going to go to those ones through there. I could just press number 1. But is that all? All we've done here is just use regions and rows. We haven't looked at the column. And so this column down through here, for example, also has another number 1 in it. So we can sort of color that through there. And these numbers can have all sorts of combinations of different sorts of numbers or colors in them. So it's really quite amazing actually what it does do. Like you've got just heaps and heaps. So in this case, I know that can't be a number 1 as well. So that one has to be a number 1. It doesn't get rid of your notation, so just be aware of that. So you do need to go back in. If you do want to get rid of it, what you can do is just go to shift to highlight the corner notation, and then just click on the X in through there. Also, with all of these colors, I can just sort of go and select these just by clicking and dragging, and just go to colors and then press the X down through there just to get rid of all the different colors. But the coloring makes it quite a different way of planning. So you've got 3 different ways of actually planning this one. So that one was, I didn't have to do all that color to do there, but you can sort of see when it gets complex, you can start to think through the possibilities using colors, numbers in corners, and also numbers in the middle. I'll just start to play through a little bit and we'll sort of see where we are. So I've got the 1s into here, 1, 1, there's no 1 in this one down through here. So there is definitely a 1 somewhere down this way. If I just press number 1, I'll just go and use the shift and control to do this one through here. So 1 is only available in there. By the way, when you are trying to solve it, it is easier ultimately if you only look for numbers. Try to limit it to only 2, if possible 3, but try to keep them in a row, or just 2 within a region if there is only 2 in 2 possibilities. So for example, 1, 1 and 1, that one's actually done. One thing it doesn't do as well, which I wish there was a setting for it, not that I would turn it on in this case, but you can actually, most other applications will actually highlight, if you click on number 1, it will then highlight all the other number 1s. It makes it easier, but you may, like, I think the reason for playing this would be that you don't want it easier. Now, this is an interesting one where we've got like a 1 down through this side. And we also have a 1 through this side as well. So let's just go and color that just so we can sort of see it. So all that's actually left is just this one down through here. Even though there's 2 choices of 1s in through this side, I've got a 1 in this region. I don't have a 1 in this region. I don't have 1 in this region, but I can't put a 1 through those 3 there. I can't put it there or there or there. So it has to go there. So that has to be a number 1. And that means that this one can't be a number 1. So if I just go and shift and then just go and delete that one, making that the number 1 there. So that then finishes off all my number 1s. Let's just go and get rid of these colors. There we are. Okay, so that's the ones finished. Now, also most applications would then ghost back the 1 in some way so that it knows you've actually put it down, all the ones on the actual thing. Again, I don't mind it because you can get some unusual little puzzles that may have different ways of working. This is much more open. This is much more of a tool to actually do your normal way of playing Sudoku than an actual app to help you help manage your Sudoku, if that makes any sort of sense. Anyway, let's just continue on through. We'll just go to the 2s in this case. So I've got a 2 in this region through here. I've got another 2 back in this region through there. So I've got that row. So it just means that 2s are in there. I've got no other 2s down that way. So if I just press Shift and then 2, I end up with two 2s in the top. I can then just keep on going through. So I've got 2, 2, 2. They're all those regions are all done. Back in through this side, I don't know where the 2s are in through here. I've only got 2s there. I don't have 2s there. So both of these regions don't actually have a 2. So they can go either. Well, they can go pretty much anywhere. So this is one where I just wouldn't bother until I've actually got some other sort of way of putting the 2 in. This is where you would sort of skip over that if you're just going to sort of do this and only really try to sort of knuckle into that one if you can't find any other solutions. So that's one, like with most applications, what I'd be doing is I'd be putting little 2s in the corner and then having a look to see once the whole pad has been fleshed out. But it's not really a good way of playing the game, I don't think. This is another one that's interesting because we've now got 3 in a row here, which means that the 2, which is up the top here, so I can't have a 2 there. I can't have a 2 there, which means the 2 has to be one of these 2 locations, and I can't have a 2 there. So the 2 has to go there. So if I place that one into that location, suddenly we now know that the 2 has to go into either here or here. Because it then takes up a row, I will actually do that one. I'm just going to go and select both of those and just put the 2s in the corner at this stage. Now down to the next one, we don't have any 2s in through here, so 2s could go anywhere in those 3, so let's not do it just yet. We do have a 2 in this one, so we will leave that one alone, which means that we then have 2s, actually can't go there, so the 2s can definitely go there. Now when I've got 2 2s like this, I know that row, this is why you do it in rows like this, I know that row is full and the 2 has been used up, so I can't place a 2 along there or through there. Like that's been now, there's nowhere else for the 2s to go except for there and there. And so that cannot be a 2. That cannot be a 2 through there. So the 2 can only go into one of these 2 locations here. So let's just go and place that. Okay, so we've only got, like, this is sort of, like once you start fleshing it out, things will start to sort of present as you go through. Let's do 3. So we've got 3 back up through this side, and we don't have any 3s in through there. It's a bit too open. There's no other 3s down that way, no 3s in there that I can sort of see. Sometimes you skip things and miss things. So 3s are a bit of a problem. We can't really do much with them. What about 4s? We've got 4, 4, and 4. So that row is done. We've got 4, 4, which means that the 4, this is interesting. So we now have the 4. Actually, we can't use the 4 there. This actually changes things a lot. Let's just say that 4 wasn't there. What I would then do is I would then go across, select both of those, and then press Control, or just click on this one down through here, and click 2, 4. And that becomes a 2, 4 pair. And so what this one does is I know if that one's a 4, this one's a 2. If this one's a 2, that one's, sorry, if that one's a 4, this one's a 2. They can only be working together like this in terms of the actual pairs that they have. And so I use this middle one for doing that. And so it just makes life a little bit easier in that sort of sense. Now we know that there's a 4 that runs down through that side, so that cannot be a 4, which means that this one is definitely the 4, which means that that one is definitely the 2. So when you've got them noted like this, not in the corners, it means it's really it's a hard number. And so if one changes, the other one changes along with it. And so you can actually, again, you could have used colors here as well and just sort of color those sort of squares just so you know it. But I think having that little middle notation really does sort of make life fairly cool the way it sort of does work there. All right, so let's just, sorry, I've gone back. I've gone back and selected what I had there. Now the game will actually let me do the wrong things in here as well. It will sort of show it if I've got a definite problem, but it's, I don't know if it will do it if I go down to here, for example, and put a 4. Yeah, it will still highlight the problems. Okay, I think you can turn that off if you're wanting to, I think. Okay, so 4, 4, we've only got 4 in 2 locations. Can't be there, so it has to be there. So that's 4, which means that 2, because that was only a pair, that one has to be then 2. Actually, that changes things. No, I've done that one wrong. I've put the 2's in the wrong place because that 2 was down the bottom there. So I'm just going to go and Control Z that. That 4 is correct, but this 2 should never have been there. So I've screwed that one up. The 2 wasn't available in the bottom, wasn't available in the top. The 2 was only available in there. That makes that the 2 there. Okay, so that one sort of, because that one sort of comes back down this way, that one comes back that way. Those 2 take up that slot. So the only slot left is that for the is there for the 2. I don't know how I screwed that one up. I mustn't have seen that one. Probably saw something else somewhere in the chart. I'm trying to rush a little bit and explain what I'm thinking, which is actually hard to do when you're playing these sort of mind games. Now this is interesting. Let's just have a bit of a look in the way that this one would sort of then be sort of tackled. So when we have a look at this one, we've got a 1, a 2 that was going to be in one of these two areas. 3 is not covered. Now there's no 3 could go into any one of these. So all 3 of those could actually be the 3. So we've got 3s, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is there anywhere where the 8s are limited? And we've got limits like that could all be 8 as well. So that's not really going to help me much. Even though I've only got like 3 slots to then fill, it's actually not going to sort of help me much with that one. So I'll just leave them alone. This one as well, I've only got 3, and these are all in a row. So whatever is going to be in this row is going to then sort of work out fairly neatly for me. So I can sort of have a look at this one. I've got 1, 2. If I go Control, I've got a 3, I've got a 4, 5 goes in there somewhere. I've got 6, 7, 8. So there's only those 3 numbers can only be in those squares. So they cannot be anywhere else in here. So that means I've got one more slot left over here that is not any of these numbers that are here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That has to be a 9. So there's just by elimination, that's where that one actually does go. If there's any other 5s or 8s, I've got a 5 there, I can just go press Control, get rid of the 5 from that one. So that's definitely only a 3, 8 back in through that side. So we can start to limit what's going on. But you can see how useful having this middle notation actually is, the center notation. It actually does make life fairly easy. 1, 2, in this case, I've got 3, can be in either one of these slots. 4, 5, so it's either a 3, it's a 3, 5 pair. So if I just go and press Shift and then press Control, I know that if that one's a 5, that one's a 3, and vice versa. So that one sort of now takes over. We've got the 3s back in through here. We know that the 3's are going to have to be somewhere in here. This one's a little bit too open. Once you get to around about 5, like this one here, you could start to sort of try to figure it all out if you wanted to. So 1, 2, 3 could be there. It can't be in the top there, but it can also be across the top in through here as well. So a little bit too open. 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't be at the top, can't be at the bottom, so it's one of these 2. In fact, it can't be that one, so that is 7. 7, then 8 is going to be, it can't be there, so 8 can only be in one of these 2. So let's just go and do a Shift 8, just get the corner 8, and that just leaves 9. So so hang on, 1, 2, 3. 3 can be in either one of these, but 9, 9 can't be there. So 9 is also only available into here. So that has to be an 8, 9 pair. So I just press Control, 8, 9, and then just Shift, and I'm just going to go and get rid of the corners. So we know that they're a pair, and as soon as we solve one, we solve the other, which means that this has to be the 3. So we'll just pop the 3 into there. So we're getting close now. We've only got one number left in this row, or this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is what that one is. So we pop the 6 into there. We've only got 2 in this row. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 can't be in this region. So 5 has to be there. 6, 7, 8 has to be there because that's the only one that's left. So that then solves that particular row. I hope that makes sense. Back in through here, we've only got 2 more to fill in this region. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 and 9 to fill in through here. Now, I don't have 6 is not, I've got nothing that will help me through there, but I know what these two are. So I'm just going to shift click those, control, it's a 6, 9. So if I solve one, I solve the other. Back in through this side, we've only got 4 slots left. I think I'll just leave that for now. 1, 2, 3 can go pretty much anywhere in through here. Now this is interesting actually. When we look at this, see how this is filled, that whole row is filled, that whole row is filled. So the 3 has to be in this row. It can't be out here or here for the simple reason that it's got to be in here somewhere. So I'm just going to go shift 3 there. So I know that that's actually a 3 through that row there and not there, simply because it has to be, because I can't put it into either of these locations. These, whoops, actually, I hadn't seen that before. So you can actually double click the numbers. I hadn't seen that. Wow, okay. This is good, actually. It's funny, sort of the little things that you pick up. I find it much easier on the computer than on my Android, by the way, as well. I don't know whether it's just I'm more used to using the computer. But this means that the 3s, well, they have to, we sort of know that they had to be back in through here anyway. So that was always going to be a 3, but I don't want to be putting the notation in. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be one of these. Can't be that one. So 7 is definitely going to be up in here somewhere, and it can't be that one. So that is a 7 there. 7, 8, 9. So the 9 is going to be either there, which it can be, or it can't be there. So that's the 9. And so we come back, that is definitely the 3. Now when we put the 3 in, that means that this can't be a 3 anymore. So that one has to be a 5. That one has to then be a 3 because the 5 has now been taken from that region, which just leaves me with this group of 3s. I don't think we solved anything else down this way. I think these are still active with what they've actually got. Let's actually have a bit of a look through here. Now it makes it a little bit more confusing trying to go and do the rows this way. So we've got 1, 2, 3 can be there, could be actually here. No, it can't be there, could be there. So the 3 could be there. In fact, if we have a look at 1, 2, where else could the 3 be here? It could be anywhere through those 3. So I don't really want to do the notation. So I'll just leave that one off at this point in time. 3, 4. 4, we can't have the center column. We can't have those 2. So the 4 is definitely there. So that just fleshes out one more. 5, 6, where can the 6 go? The 6 is going to have to go in here somewhere. It can't go there, can't go there. It can't go there because we know that we know what this is limited to because of the way we've noted it, which means that the 6 has to go there. If we go and do the next column down, actually, so we have a 6, 7, then we've got 8. Now 8 can go anywhere through here, really. So these are basically an 8-2. Actually, they don't have to be an 8-2 pair. They could go there. They could also go down the bottom here. So I'm not going to bother putting that one in. But so this one is still a bit too open for me. So I'm going to need to put a 3 and a 5 and an 8. So we've got a 5 there. So that the 5s could only go in one of those 2 locations. I'll leave that alone because this is a bit more complicated now. Just while we're sort of waiting for this one, let's just do this one. 1, 2, 3. 3 can go. 3 can only go into here or here. So let's just go and shift click 3 there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 can go into any one of them. But the 3, at least we've got a line up in through there. You can see how you don't really have to put much on your, like if you were doing this with pen and paper, there's not a hell of a lot to be able to sort of see what's going on. In through this side here, we've got 1, 2, 3 there. 3 can go there. And 3 can also go here. So what I will do is it can't go there either. So I'm just going to go and delete that 3. I will go and put the 3s in through that side, just so we've got 2 3s in through there as well. Now that means that one of these 2 is definitely the 3 in through here, but we don't know which one. So 1, 2, 3 now, 4, 5, 6. So 7 has to go somewhere. 7 can't go there. It can go there, and we do need to still have a 7 back in through this side. We've got 7 in both regions, so that is definitely the 7. So 7, then 8 as well. 8 can't go there. So if 8 can't go there, that is definitely the 8. That is definitely the 3. So that then solves that one through that side. That one can't be the 3, so we'll just go and shift click that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's the 8 back in through that side, which means that this one in through here is no longer the 8, so it's only a 3, 5. So the 8 is in there, so that can't be the 8 there as well. So just get rid of the 8. Which means that the 8 has to be in this little area through here. So that's definitely going to be an 8. Now, see how we had the 8, 9? I didn't see that before. The 8, 9 stops me from putting an 8 anywhere else in this column by having it notated like this, because it can only be, if that's a 9, that's an 8. If that's a 9, that's an 8. So the 8 is definitely not in that column, which means that the 8 can only be in this column, which means that that is definitely a 2. That is definitely a 3. And if that's a 3, then that's a 5, because we sort of know that from the notation that's a 3. And we're now back over to the other side through here. That 3 can't be there, so this 3 has to be a 3. We can just go back to that one, shift click and get rid of that one. The 6s, we've got one number through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the number that we need to pop in there. We've got in through here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 can go into either one of these locations. 6 can go into either one of those locations at this stage. So we'll just go and shift click 6. 7, 8, and then 9 can go into only this one here. So that one is definitely a 9. This one is definitely a 6. If the 9 takes up that one through there, that is definitely a 6, and that is definitely a 9. So we start to move this one across. Then we've got just this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back in through there, and of course that's going to finish off that row as well. So we've only got like a couple left. Now the 2 can't be the 2 there, so we'll just go and get rid of that one. That is definitely the 2. Got the 9 through there, so that's definitely the 8. That's definitely the 9. And then as we come back through, we've got the 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 along the base, 3 along the top. So 3 is there in the middle, because of the 3 that goes up this way, and the 3 that then takes it along that way. 3, 4, 5, 6 can't be there, so 6 has to be up in here. And then 7, 8 has to go in there. So that would then just flashes it all out. And so puzzle completed, and that's it. So it looks good to me. Timer stopped. It took me 21 minutes, which is actually a really long time. It's sort of, as I say, it is a bit hard sort of trying to explain as you go. But anyway, that's the... That is the actual puzzle now selected. So I can just go back to the listings, and there it is back over there with my time allocator. But you can sort of see the way that the game presents things is actually really, really cool, just with the way with the different tools you actually have available. Anyway, it's perfect timing for me to finish this episode. I hope that was informative. If you do like Sudokus, and particularly I think if you do like pen and paper Sudokus, you will like this app. Because it does feel like you are using the same sort of tools, but even tools on steroids essentially that you would use for doing pen and paper. I think if you're used to and enjoy using apps that actually do a lot of the highlighting for you, a lot of the planning for you, then this probably isn't the app for you. But as I say, it's an interesting app. So I thought I would just cover it as a little bit of a let's peek essentially at this particular application. It's one that, as I say, I quite like it. It's making me look at Sudokus in a different way than what I have through my other apps, and so I am enjoying more of that pen and paper feel. I haven't enjoyed doing pen and paper Sudokus for many, many years actually, because of the apps that I've been playing. I think this app will help me to start to appreciate the pen and paper ones again, particularly with taking that minimal approach of just trying to flesh out those lines. As I say, this was only an easy, so it wasn't really all that difficult to do. But anyway, I hope that was fun, and that's probably not all that much fun, but anyway, we'll. I know the sort of games that you guys, my normal audience, like me to play, and this is probably not really in that category. But let me know what you think anyway. It is interesting to me to sort of know whether this is sort of the sort of content that some of you like, none of you like, etc., etc. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.